Last year, Catholic Campus Ministries' theme was, "As for me and my house, we shall serve the Lord," from the book of Joshua. But this year we have something a little different, as I'm sure you've noticed from the posters hanging around the Newman house. This year it comes from Psalm 127, "Unless the Lord builds the Newman house, those who build it labor in vain." Every one of our ministry team members will get a little poster like this to hang in your room to remind yourself of it all throughout the year. What does this mean? Unless the Lord builds the house, its laborers labor in vain. What does that mean? It means that unless we dedicate our work to the Lord, unless we take it to prayer, everything that we do is useless in the eyes of God, and that's what's most important. In this picture, we see Joseph here building something with wood. And then we see Jesus holding the light, the candle, for Joseph to see. It's kind of funny because Jesus is Joseph's son, and yet Jesus is providing Joseph the light to do all of his work. I'm sure Joseph, in his humility and in his wisdom, prayed to God about what he should do and how he should raise his son. He's a beautiful example for us as we go about our ministry on campus. How are you going to live different because you are Catholic? How are you going to allow the Lord to build our house? What will you do to inspire others to follow Christ? Pope Francis wrote his apostolic letter for the year 2021 entitled "With a Father's Heart." And in it, he reflected in all the ways that he loves St. Joseph and how St. Joseph is the best example for us. He wrote, "My desire to write these reflections increased during these months of the pandemic, when we experienced amid the crisis how our lives are woven together and sustained by ordinary people, people often overlooked, people who do not appear in newspaper and magazine headlines or on the latest television show, yet in these very days are surely shaping the decisive events of our history. Doctors, nurses, storekeepers, and supermarket workers, cleaning personnel, caregivers, transport workers, men and women working to provide essential services and public safety, volunteers, priests, men and women religious, and so very many others. They understood that no one is saved alone. How many people daily exercise patience and offer hope, taking care to spread not panic, but shared responsibility? How many fathers, mothers, grandparents, and teachers are showing our children, in small, everyday ways, how to accept and deal with a crisis by adjusting their routines, looking ahead, and encouraging the practice of prayer? How many are praying, making sacrifices, and interceding for the good of all? Each of us can discover in Joseph the man who goes unnoticed, a daily, discreet, and hidden presence, an intercessor, a support, and a guide in times of trouble. Saint Joseph reminds us that those who appear hidden or in the shadows can play an incomparable role in the history of salvation. A word of recognition and of gratitude is due to them all. And in these examples that Pope Francis brought up, I see all of you, my students, who are inspiring hope in our campus that often feels very much unreliable. We don't know if we're going to go to class from one day to the next. But you give others hope, you instill in them peace, and you help others to accept and deal with this crisis. Saint Joseph as our model, I see him working in you.